is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out lithiafordboise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
Good evening, Bronco Nation. Welcome on into ExtraMile Arena. The Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show is off and rolling. We are back from New York, back at ExtraMile Arena for some Boise State basketball tonight as the Broncos back in front of the home crowd coming off the St. Mary's win, getting ready to take on the Tigers from Texas Southern. We bring you here live at ExtraMile Arena. My name is BJ Rains. We got Abe Jackson with you as well. We show you a live look at warm-ups. Broncos getting loose and coming off a real nice win, Abe Jackson.
Oh, man, that was about as different of a first half as you could have from the last time they took the court against Washington State. Fantastic. Love how they came out. The energy was off the charts. The aggression was off the charts. And they knocked down some shots, and they made free throws when they needed to down the stretch as well.
And when you put that together, coming off the dud of the game against Washington State, and then you had a week to sit around, and then a game that they really had to have in terms of, making the non-conference be a success. I mean, there was just a lot going against them in that one. That really was, all things considered, again, coming off the tough loss, sit there for a week and sulk about it, and then go play and get one of your biggest wins of the season.
Well, Coach Rice said, and also Cardenas said that it was one of their best weeks of practice that they had. And so, I mean, but that's the beauty of basketball is that there is no way that you can actually just think about something too long. You have to go out there and just forget about it, learn from it, forget about it, and just move on and get a good week of practice in. And it showed. The mindset going into that game against St. Mary's, you could see the difference of what they were trying to do compared to what they did against Washington State in that first half.
If you got a score prediction, let us know in the ICCU YouTube chat of wherever you're watching from. Give us a shout out if you got a question in the next couple of minutes for Abe Jackson. We'll get to that as well. But a change in the starting lineup in that game. R.J. Keene making his first career start, and it seemed to pay off.
No, it really did. And what I like is that R.J. Keene has the green light to just go crazy, right? I mean, he just go make something happen. He had the highest plus-minus at 7 points in the game, and he didn't score a point. And so that's how you can tell that he's really affecting a game. And I love it is that he can go out, and if he gets maybe 2 over-the-back calls going for a rebound, the coaches aren't going to care. Not that he's dispendable, but it's like we don't we don't need you to score 15. That's not what you do.
Yeah.
You go out and you do crazy things, and you keep the ball alive, you tip the ball, you get rebounds, you dive on the floor. That's what we need you to do, and he's embraced that role, and it paid off.
Especially on the offensive end, it seems like he really slashes in there and catches a lot of those guys sleeping on the rebounds.
Oh, on the rebounds for sure. He is just full head of steam on those rebounds, and I'll tell you, that's a hard type of guy to box out. I would rather box out someone who's 6'10", inside, who you just turn around and then all of a sudden the body's there, than someone who tries to like jet around you and then go about 1,000 miles an hour to the hoop. They're the ones that are hard to box out.
And every team needs a guy like that, right? I mean, he doesn't have the as you said, he's going to make his second career start tonight, and he didn't score a point in the last game, and yet you said it was one of the best games he's had. I mean, pretty I guess interesting that he does a lot of things that don't show up in the stat sheet. You mentioned the plus minus, the rebounds, those do, but a lot of the intangible things, and sometimes it's nice to have that be your 6th or 7th man, but right now, at least for the second game in a row, they think they need that energy and that to start the game with,
sure.
and it seems like every good team has a guy like that.
Well, I think it'd be different if your 6th or 7th man on the bench when he starts, takes a big step down. But I mean, your first guy off the bench is Javen Buchanan, and so I mean, it's not like you're going to go down in talent when you go to the bench. So really, you just tell him to get out there, make as many things happen. You said the rebounds show up, but I don't know if tipped balls show up. I'm sure the coaches keep track of that, but I know it doesn't show up in the stats.
He had one
at least one or two a game.
Yes.
He gets a hand on the ball, and it keeps a possession alive.
I forget who it was. It was either Tyson or Omar, but he tipped one right to them, and they laid it in on a putback, and that was a big bucket in the game there in the second half. They still had a stretch. They didn't score in like the last 4 minutes of the first half. Had a stretch there for the first part of the second half where they fell behind.
Yep.
It just still doesn't – I mean, they won the game. It's great, but it still seems like it's a work in progress with this team in terms of just finding that exact mojo. It just still seems like they're not really fully clicking yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's going to happen almost every single game. I mean, it might not happen here against Texas Southern, but in league, it's going to happen almost every single time where you're going to go 2.5, maybe 3 minutes. Now you start getting to that 4 or 5, and that's a little much. But I mean, St. Mary's had about 3 stretches where they didn't score any field goals for about 3.5 or 4 minutes as well. So it's just really the ebbs and flows of a basketball game. And if you can keep those to maybe 3 minutes, but in those 3 minutes, if you're not getting field goals, getting to the line and trying to get some points that way, or having your defense really lock in to keep them from scoring as well. So it's basketball is a game that ebbs and flows, and it's really hard to just be on point for 40 minutes straight offensively.
Tyson Degenhart, 19 big points, including some big free throws down the stretch. But I thought Omar Stanley, 13 and 11, he looked a little more like himself again.
Well, he did. And in the interview with us after the game, I liked what he said. He said, this team needs something different from me this year. He said, they don't need me to do what I did last year. And it took me a little bit to really figure that out, but I'm embracing that now. I'm embracing what they need from me, because there are some scorers on this team compared to last year, I think, especially when you throw Buchanan out there, who could on a good night, give you 20 points.
Yeah, Cardenas,
a scoring point guard now. So, and I love that he's embracing that role. He threw out a couple NBA players that he watches that are kind of that role for him. I think Kevon Looney was one of those players. But RJ Keene and Omar Stanley, I love how they are embracing a different role than what has been asked of them in the past, and they're thriving.
So how does a guy like Dylan Anderson then find a role and stay engaged, I guess, so to speak? He only played 10 minutes in that game. I'm sure with the way the season started especially, he was expecting to have a bigger role.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think with Dylan Anderson, it's got to be, how to find more strength. And I'm sure he's a very strong guy, but there's a different type of strength when you're playing in the post and when you're holding your ground. You look at Tyson Degenhart, he's just as strong as, or maybe not even as strong as some of the big guys he plays post defense on, but he has a way to have strength in there. I feel like Dylan Anderson is getting pushed around a little bit inside and losing his balance and not really having a stable base. So if he can find that, I think he'll get some more minutes.
Abe Jackson, our guest for a couple more minutes. He'll be on the call, 670 KBOI with Bob Beeler coming up in 18 minutes right across the way there. And Abe, we had a story on our site today by Nathan Carroll, who's kind of our numbers analytics guy, and he looked at where Boise State was in the net and the KenPom and some of that, right now compared to the last 3 years, which obviously they made the NCAA tournament the last 3 years. Their net and their KenPom is actually higher right now than it was in each of the last 3 years. I know the Boston College loss is going to be a sore spot the entire season. You would have loved it. If that shot just misses, you're in such a great spot right now. You're 7-3 and maybe overall record, 3 losses isn't ideal, but if you get a win tonight, 8-3, 2 wins over Clemson and St. Mary's. I mean, all things considered, not a perfect non-con, but I would say one that you're okay with.
Well, if you looked at the schedule coming into this season and you said, okay, you're going to end the non-conference at 8-3 before you played anybody, you would look at the schedule and say, okay, I mean, I can kind of see that, right? I mean, you take a look at Clemson. Let's be honest. No one thought that we were going to win by 13 points against Clemson. St. Mary's could have been a loss before the game happened as well. So 8-3, I don't really think is a big stretch from where you might think this team was going to be before you even looked at the schedule. But they're a loss that you'd like to have back every single year there is. A couple years ago, you lose to North Dakota, I think, or
South Dakota State.
South Dakota State at
Bakersfield,
home in Bakersfield, right? I mean,
Charlotte.
Exactly. There's always these games that you look back and you're like, oh, man, that one wasn't our best performance. But it all just evens itself out. And right now, the Broncos are in a really good shape to put together a nice run because after today, they open up their conference with maybe 3 of the 4 worst teams in the Mountain West in Air Force, San Jose, and Wyoming. You get those 3 wins and you start Mountain West play at 3-0. I know it evens itself out. You got to play everybody, but to start against teams that you should probably beat instead of maybe starting against the 3 best teams in the conference, they have an opportunity to get a really good roll going starting conference.
I think I saw Utah State's 10-0, but they play at San Diego State, at Nevada, like coming up here in the next week.
Well, at St. Mary's.
Yep. Or maybe one of them's home, but they play San Diego State, Nevada coming up pretty soon. It's
at St. Mary's, at San Diego State, and then it's maybe Nevada at home.
Okay.
So see, that's a tough way to open conference.
I would say it's those San Jose, especially, and Wyoming are on the road are going to be a little tricky. They're better this year, I think, than they've been.
Who's that?
San Jose and I think Wyoming compared to last year.
I think Wyoming's better.
I think San Jose is at home. That they've had trouble there. It's a sneaky place. Like, yes, you got to win those, but I don't think those are – you walk in feeling like you're going to win by 25. Maybe you should, but I don't.
I don't think It takes a pretty bad team to walk in to 3-0, right?
And they should be on a 5-game winning streak when San Diego State comes in here for a sellout Saturday afternoon game.
Yes, exactly. Those are the 3 games that you start. Might not be 25, but you definitely should be coming out with a win on
Todd says, are we going to see Ugbo tonight? Why didn't he play in the last game?
I don't know. I didn't hear any reason why, but the Broncos were on a run, and with the guys who were out there, and we've seen Coach Rice do that so many times, is where if someone is going on a roll, he just doesn't mess with it. He might use some timeouts to give him a rest, but he will go right back to that 5 that was out there, and the 5 that were out there were playing well against St. Mary's.
All right, Texas Southern, they're 0-8 against Division I teams. They're number 309 at Ken Palm. Only a 22-point number at Ken Palm. I thought it might be a little bit higher than that, but what do we know about Texas Southern, or is this a game where you just focus on yourself?
Well, last year they lost in the conference championship game, and so they've been really good in their conference. They're really bad outside of conference. If you look at their schedule, they play a bunch of money games. I mean, Georgia Tech, Stanford, New Mexico, Nevada, Boise State.
Team, yeah.
I know. So they play an unbelievably hard preseason because they're getting the money to help fund their program. But when they get into conference, they're a very good team. So the Broncos, I don't think, should have any trouble with them. But like any team that's in Division I, you have the ability to get hot.
They got Johnny Jones, a veteran coach. Yep. They're 2-8. Both their wins are non-Division I teams. They just played Nevada on Saturday and lost 105-73. I assume they just stayed on the road, probably came over.
I think so. I haven't heard, but I would guess that maybe with that extra day, I'll bet they bust over maybe Sunday and then got some practice in yesterday.
Well, we'll see. They're getting about $100,000 for this game, and hopefully they know what to do then. Lose by 40. Take your money and go back home.
We're doing our part, right? We're signing the check. You do your part and get us more than 22.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Should be a good one tonight. Kind of the final tune-up to conference play. You just want to keep locking in those rotations and those minutes and get everybody feeling good going into Saturday.
I like it. We got one other question here that just popped up.
What do you want to see from Meadow?
Yeah.
What do you want to know about why didn't Ashton Genty win the Heisman? They want to know your real answer on that one.
Why Ashton? I think that it was a pretty good marketing team over in Colorado.
No doubt.
I think that if Hunter played for another university, I don't know if he would have won, but that's just my opinion there. But still, historical season for Genty. What I want to see from Meadow tonight is I'd like to see him put the ball on the deck a little bit and create some things off the dribble. We all know that he can spot up and shoot the ball, but just maybe a little shot fake from 3, get into the paint, finish at the hoop.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun. We'll see what happens. Tip off in 42 minutes. You and Bob Beeler over on 670 KBOI. We appreciate you as always, man. Abe Jackson coming up, 670 KBOI. one of the best sharpshooters in Boise State history, and we always appreciate him joining us every pregame show and hopefully every postgame show here on Bronco Nation News. Again, Texas Southern Tigers, they are 2-8. Veteran coach Johnny Jones in his 6th year at Texas State, 400 career wins. Texas Southern, not Texas State, my bad. They've got a lot of transfers, a lot of older guys, kind of an interesting mix in terms of their roster. First time since 2012. They did play Boise State back in 2012, and Leon Rice was the head coach. As Bob said, or as Abe said, Texas Southern fell in the SWAC tournament last year, went to the CIT postseason team from last year, Texas Southern, but having a tough one this year. They did return two starters from last year, added 6 players via the transfer portal. Grayson Carter, Kenny Hunter return as preseason All-SWAC second-team members. Defensive preseason player of the year, too, in Hunter. So Boise State 5-0 all-time against the SWAC. They've played Alabama State, Grambling State, Prairie View A&M, and they are 1-0 all-time against Texas Southern. And Texas Southern has won 3 of the past 4 SWAC championship tournaments. So they've made the NCAA tournament, 3 of the last 4 years, and they're looking this year to go to the 8th NCAA tournament in the last 12 years. So they've got some history, as Abe said, turning it on late in the year and doing some things. So super excited to see what Boise State can do tonight as they finish up non-conference play. Conference play starts on Saturday against Air Force. 1:30 start, Air Force and Boise State on Saturday to kick off Mountain West play. As Abe said, good chance you can start conference play 3-0. Hey, Johnny Ballgame is going to join us in a minute. I want to tell you about Western Collective, that studio sponsor. Horseshoe Golden Ale, Orange Chaos Seltzer. They're available tonight at Albertson Stadium, at ExtraMile Arena, whatever the name of this place is. You can pick them up at the brewery as well, Western Collective in Garden City, and you can watch the Fiesta Bowl at the brewery in Garden City. If you're not going to the Fiesta Bowl, you can watch the game there in Garden City at Western Collective. Our title sponsor is RoePaint.com, ROEPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. Check them out at RoePaint.com. And Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking. And Bousher Real Estate re-upped for another year. I took the Bousher check into ICCU today, deposited it right in the bank on the way here. It was such an easy process going through the drive-through. So ICCU.com, check them out. Idaho Central Credit Union. Ridley's Family Markets, shop Ridley's.com. 13 locations in the state of Idaho, surrounding states as well. Check them out. Shop Ridley's.com. We got a cool announcement to make here momentarily, courtesy of Ridley's. And I mentioned Matt Bousher and Bousher Real Estate, number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason. Check them out. Bousher Real Estate. When you buy or sell a home with Matt and his team, you're going to get to know everybody in that picture because it's such a personalized process. We appreciate Matt for re-upping for another year. I know everybody has 5 realtors, but please use Bousher Real Estate for your next real estate project. And after the game, we will award the Bousher Real Estate Player of the Game after this one, the Matt Bousher Real Estate Player of the Game. If you have a pick to click, a score prediction, shout out, we'll give you a shout out. Where are you watching from? Let us know. We'll get that in there as well. Folks in Section 12 are getting their photo right now with the Mountain West Championship Trophy. They've got the Fiesta Bowl backdrop. If you are coming to the game tonight, you can head up to Section 12, get your picture with the Mountain West Championship, and be in your seat at halftime. Your Mountain West champions will be honored on the court at halftime tonight. They've got the seats blocked off over here. Johnny's friends, Keaton and Bailey over there, so keeping the seats reserved for the football team. John Mallory joining us for a couple of minutes. Always a fun atmosphere when the football team's here, and fun Tuesday night of hoops tonight, man.
Is Jay on the call?
Jay Tust is doing the play-by-play tonight.
Is he really for the Mountain West Network or KTVB?
Yeah, Mountain West Network and KTVB Plus. But we were on our 4-hour flight back from New York City on Sunday, and there he was making his board on the flight.
Tremendous coverage, you and Jay. Must have been a great experience also for you guys to get to cover an event like that. Heck of a weekend. And I'll tell you this, man, Ashton Genty, I mean, what would the over-under be for how long his standing ovation could be? 60 seconds? Is it going to be more or less than that? I mean, if they do, dude, on its own say, we would like to, give thanks to the Maxwell Award winner and the Doak Walker Award winner, ladies and gentlemen, Ashton Genty. Like if they called him out first, the over-under, I mean, how long would that standing ovation be, man?
I'm just going to say this. I got here early, and they were testing out some of the videos and things, and they were playing an Ashton Genty package.
Okay. Well,
he might get honored here tonight.
BJ, we can't produce all this stuff,
That might happen,
we can't, give them this endless pool of all these wonderful ideas. No, all kidding aside, if Genty's a part of it, and the word is he is, and he will be, of course. So, yeah, halftime's going to be fun, and if that maybe helps get a few hundred more people in, then I don't know what else would or wouldn't right now. So good for them for giving it a shot. We come to these games, all of them. So it's a nice little treat for us. That'll be fun.
And I know everybody was focused on the Heisman ceremony, but that ended up being a real nice win against St. Mary's.
Oh, man, right, it did. And I don't know where I am with this basketball team yet, and sometimes I feel like I want to know where I am after non-con, which ends tonight.
Yep.
And maybe I'll learn a little more, but I kind of don't. I mean, Dylan Anderson's minutes, where are they? What's going on there? Tyson Dagenhart behind the 3-point line. What's with that? I mean, Alvaro, he's been really good. He hasn't been great yet. And if great Alvaro is coming, that's going to be wonderful. And you know what? Omar. I think Omar be the first to tell you, you know what? I haven't played my A game in non-con. I think there's a lot of meat on the bone with this thing, BJ. But yeah, I just can't get a feel or read on this team. Can you?
No, I would agree with you. They're still searching. I mean, our boy RJ Keene is a starter now.
Yep, exactly. Like, and he's earned that, and we'll see what RJ can do tonight. But you're right, we don't. And I guess that answers our own question. The coaches, they as well are saying, okay, maybe we can't get a feeling on this team right now. And league play starts Saturday. Air Force, and you certainly don't want to start 0-1 in the league. Last year, remember they were this close to 0-1 in San Jose. You were at that game. That was crazy. And
they were down 8 or 9 with
11 minutes left. And I remember, I think we were texting and we were like, I don't want to say this, but I don't know if they can get in the tournament if they lose this game. And it was the first league game. We were like, dude, they can't. And they found a way.
They should find a way, Johnny. I was just talking to Abe about this. They should be 3-0 in league, and they should be on a 5-game winning streak, and they should be 12-3 when a ranked San Diego State comes in here in January 4th. 3 days off a win in the Fiesta Bowl. The crowd amped up for the Orange Bowl.
I'll buy that.
And San Diego State comes in, national CBS, Saturday, 2 o'clock, sellout crowd.
I'll buy that. San Diego State looks good, too. Yeah. Total Dutcher squad.
But, I mean, that could be Boise State could be on a 5. Boise State plays San Jose, Wyoming, and Air Force in the first 3 conference games. They should be 3-0 when San Diego State comes in.
Agree. They should be 3-0 there. And that's a weekend game versus
Saturday at 2 o'clock on Big CBS.
Dude, BJ, think about this. 2 weeks from right now, we're going to be in Glendale watching the Fiesta Bowl. Be, 2 weeks from right now. It's
14-3 Boise State right about now.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Yeah, 2 weeks from right now, it's going to be Boise State versus either Penn State or SMU. That still hasn't sunk in, man.
I know.
It just hasn't sunk in.
Saturday, 2 weeks propping our feet up, watching who they play. Only problem is that this game being at 1:30 against Air Force, I may have to leave at halftime of that SMU.
I don't know if I'm going to come to the Air Force game on Saturday. I'm sorry, guys. I want to watch some college football, dude. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it, BJ.
Games all day. By the way, do you remember Jake Forsyth over here, friend of mine?
Yeah, Cardinal Medical Alliance.
So he has a ticket that Derek Stevens passed out at the James when Derek Stevens and company all came to Boise. Okay, I don't know if I should say this on the air, but I'm gonna give him. He's coming up here. I'm giving him cash. I'm buying his ticket right now.
What?
I'm buying his ticket because
BJ,
I'm going to Vegas to cash his ticket for him.
Okay.
So there you go. There you go, man. There you go.
What's up, Jay?
Our man Derek Stevens came to Boise, right, and passed out free betting tickets. And this is a winning ticket right here that Boise State to win the Mountain West. Okay, he printed it out on October 30th when he came for that game against San Jose and passed these out for people for free at the James. And this gentleman right here won one.
He just gave him $140.
He gets a free $140.
Well done.
I'm going to go cash it for him because I just gave him his mom. I'm a nice guy, so I'm going to go cash it for him. But
that's sweet, man.
There you go.
That's sweet. Yeah. He goes, are you guys on the air?
Yeah.
Right now? Hell yeah. Cardinal Medical Alliance.
What's that? 13.5 first half tonight. He likes minus 13. My team total 42.
It's a lot. I don't think I'm laying that much. I don't have a read on this team, man.
RJ Keene 10 in the first.
Points and rebounds.
I think this guy was over at the James before he came over here. Is what I. Oh man, we only got end zone. All right, there you go. We only got you for 2 more minutes, Johnny. 8-3. If they win this game tonight, it's an 8-3 non-con. They've got wins over Clemson and St. Mary's. 2 quad 1 wins. I know the Boston College loss sucks. It's going to be quad 3 or 4. But you know what? They've had Bakersfield loss. They've had Charlotte. They've had bad losses and overcome them.
Yes.
Overall, the one Boston College, that shot going in hurt, that stinks. But if you think overall, 8-3 non-con, 2 quad 1 wins. Not great, but you'd probably say it's okay.
I'd probably, if I was going to letter grade non-con, if they look like I think they'll look tonight and kind of handle their business. Texas Southern is scrappy, though. They've won a lot of games. Their coach, Jay John, you look at his league record versus his non-con record.
Johnny Jones. Man.
Drastic difference. Beeler was spitting knowledge today in Cubicleville on their coach. They are a well-coached team, but I'd probably give this team, BJ, I'd letter grade it a B in the non-con. I don't think I'd go A. I don't quite A minus. Maybe you could say a B plus. It's funny. You said like on paper, this non-con is going to look better than like the last 3-year non-cons.
It does.
But it doesn't feel that way for some reason.
Yep.
But on paper,
they're starting conference play with a better net and a better Ken Pom than the last 3 years.
Right. Yeah. So on paper, this non-con was a success, and maybe you could argue an A minus. I don't know.
I think B's fair. B's fair.
Yeah, a B.
The Boston College loss keeps it from being an anything higher.
And I don't think a B non-con grade necessarily keeps you out of the dance. The Clemson win is nice, BJ. We'll see what league victories you get, although that was crap last year, basically saying, well, none of your league victories count because you all beat each other up, the stuff that pissed Alfred off.
Oh, yeah.
That type of thing. But, yeah. We'll see what type of wins you get in league. And then who knows, man? I mean, it's going to be a fun Mountain West race, and there's high expectations in this town for hoops. We'll see how football finishes this thing. But, I mean, they're a win away they're a victory versus SMU on a neutral site away from being in the college football Final Four. Final Four. They're an SMU win on a neutral away from that.
You want to know what else they might be? A Fiesta Bowl win away from BJ Raines writing his first book.
You're going to write a book, on this season on Ashton Genty. That's in your head right now? Hey, man, can I do the audio version? The book's on tape? Heck yeah. Or at least let me voice my own parts.
We'll get a couple of Mike Prater columns in there, I think. We'll repurpose some BNN stuff.
But I mean, that's where football is.
Well, they'll be here tonight. They're going to be honored at halftime. I got to get you off due to contractual obligations, Johnny. But Section 12, the Mountain West Trophy is up there. The Fiesta Bowl background, you can go up there and push Johnny out of the way to get your picture. And the team is going to be sitting right here, Johnny. So they'll be right to our left here. And we're going to put the over-under on at 60 seconds. If Ashton Genty gets his own standing ovation tonight.
Yeah, let's see.
They're going to have to delay the next start of the game, the ball, because Ashton. What if like Saturday again? What if they win the Fiesta Bowl and then before that San Diego State game, literally right before tip off, kind of like the 12th man, the chaos flag, whatever, they get Ashton Genty on the court after winning the Fiesta Bowl before they tip off against San Diego State.
Wow, man, yeah.
Jock Jams is playing. I mean, they need to do something here.
Because they'll be getting ready for another game in 10 days. That's the crazy thing. If they win this Fiesta Bowl, it kind of hasn't hit me fully. No, then they play again.
Yeah.
And it'll be, probably Georgia.
People are saying they'd pay more for your audio version than my print version. So there you go.
Yes. Oh, I would voice the out of PJ's audiobook on this team, man. I want that gig. I agree, guys.
Appreciate you, man. There he is. John Mallory, host of Prater in the Ball Game, weekdays 3 to 6. KTIK, The Ticket, Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Check them out, whether it's for a spa, pool table, sauna. They get it all at Snake River Pool and Spa. Lithia Ford of Boise, our pregame show sponsor. The weather is getting colder, the ice, the snow, it's coming. Make sure you have a vehicle ready for an Idaho winter and an all-wheel drive vehicle at Lithia Ford of Boise, whether it's a four-wheel drive, F-150 like the Raines family has, all the various options. They've got them for you at Lithia Ford of Boise. You can view their full inventory online, do your research ahead of time at lithiafordboise.com, and then you can go on in, test drive it, be on your way. And don't forget, 4 football players, 6 student athletes, a lot of coaches, administrators driving Lithia Ford of Boise vehicles. Return the favor for your next car or truck purchase. Perfect time with the holidays here at Lithia Ford Boise. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com is the website. They are hiring. If you are looking for a job, check out TacoBellWorks.com. They are supporting student athletes at Boise State with student athlete scholarships, endowed scholarships. More than hundreds of thousands of dollars has been put up by Taco Bell for the men's and women's basketball team. So check them out, TacoBellWorks.com. If you're looking for a job, looking to support a good local company, look no further than TacoBellWorks.com, the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. Appreciate them, and again, they're hiring, so check them out. And the food's pretty darn good as well. Feed the family for very cheap, and it's very good at Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. TCS Transportation Compliance Service. Check them out, Transportation Compliance Service. If you're looking to get into the trucking industry, I highly recommend TransCompService.com. All your trucking needs, check them out, TransCompService.com. Do you have your Please Count Us Out shirt yet? I hope Spencer Danielson's get a cut of that. Please count us out. The shirts are available at the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Anywhere in the world, you can order all the Fiesta Bowl gear at the Blue and Orange Store, but they've got it in the store itself, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall. The Please Count Us Out shirts in orange, blue, and black. A lot of other great Fiesta Bowl gear as well. Make sure you check it out. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. We bring you live back into ExtraMile Arena. The Boise State men's basketball team getting set to take on the Tigers from Texas Southern. They are 0-8 against Division I teams this year. And here they come, your Boise State Broncos taking the court for warmups in the traditional white home uniforms. And, John Mallory, do we have an officiating crew for you tonight? DJ Karstensen, a big-time Big Ten official, big-time national guy, the bald guy over there at center court. A lot of big-time games. You got Deldry Carr and Kelly Pfeiffer back as well. Kelly Pfeiffer has already done like 4 Boise State games. He is back for this one. Kelly Pfeiffer did the Clemson game, did the Washington State game, unfortunately. But check them out as the Broncos warm up on the court. Texas Southern at the other end of the floor. We'll take your score predictions. We'll take your spots wherever you're watching the game, any shout-outs, whatever you got, let us know. Again, the football team's going to be here. They're going to be sitting in the student section. They've got a big area reserved for the football team. And if you want to get your picture with the Mountain West Championship trophy, it is behind Section 12. And they've got the College Football Playoff Fiesta Bowl logo there as well. So you can get a photo with the trophy in front of the Fiesta Bowl banner. That is pretty cool. Behind Section 12 tonight at the game. Someone said I'm shouting. I always talk loud. I'm just in a good mood tonight. Why not? Sorry. Just trying to bring the energy. I'll turn the volume down a little bit. All right. I'm going to talk a little quieter and I won't yell. Are we surprised that the first 2 players to arrive are James Ferguson Reynolds and Jonah Dalmas? Not surprised at all. Jonah Dalmas, James Ferguson Reynolds, the first 2 players to arrive for tonight's game from the football team. We'll turn the camera and show you. There's James Ferguson Reynolds. There is Jonah Dalmas as well. We'll see if Jonah gives us a wave over here, but not surprised the specialists are the first ones to arrive. And they've got some seats reserved for the football team right here to our left. The specialists showing up, a lot of the players showing up. And we'll see if they end up honoring Ashton Genty. Probably would be a smart move to honor him as well. But you see James Ferguson Reynolds in the house. You got Jonah Dalmas. There's James giving us a wink. But the Broncos on the court warming up. You get a live look right here at ExtraMile Arena as the crowd starts filing in. A 22-point spread over at KenPom for this one. 22 points is the number Boise State is supposed to win by at KenPom. Hey, don't forget about Jackson's. In January and February, $2 gets you a hot dog and a soda when the Broncos score 70 points, and they're averaging over 80, so that should be pretty easy. January and February, 70 points gets you a hot dog and a soda for $2. Thanks to our friends at Jackson's, who are now the sponsor of our postgame show. Thank you to Jackson's. Jackson's postgame show coming up after the game. Pumped to have Jackson's step up as a major sponsor. We'll be telling you more about Jackson's more moving forward, but Jackson's a major sponsor of Bronco Nation News, and now, from now all the way through 2025, it'll be the Jackson's postgame show for football and for basketball games. And don't forget, 25 cents from every hot dog sold goes to support the Horseshoe Collective at Boise State. Speaking of food, check out Lean Feast, leanfeastmeridian.com. Leanfeastmeridian.com is the website. 10,000 plus combinations, all kinds of healthy eating options, all kinds of diet choices, chicken, steak, fish, whatever you're looking for, they can take care of it for you at Lean Feast. 2 minutes in the microwave. You're eating steak, shrimp, chicken, all that good stuff. Check them out, Lean Feast, leanfeastmeridian.com. And we'll take your voicemails after the game. Speakpipe.com/BNN. Speakpipe.com/BNN. Give us a voicemail. Anybody that gives us a post-game voicemail, we put your name in a pot for a $100 gift card to the Blue and Orange store, courtesy of Signature Roofing. They've been covering our community for more than 20 years. Check them out online at mysignatureroofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an inspection, a free estimate, Signature Roofing's got you covered. They got an NIL deal with RJ Keene. They saw something in RJ before the season even started. Now RJ is starting, and Signature Roofing is benefiting from that. They just gave away 2 MacBooks. That was a pretty cool thing. Maybe we'll show that here in a second. But Signature Roofing, mysignatureroofing.com. Check them out for all of your roofing needs. And again, get a voicemail in, speakpipe.com/BNN, and we'll play those on the postgame show. Crowd filing in. We're about 20 minutes from tip-off. The great Jay Tust will be on the call on KTVB. He's sipping his tea, warming up his vocal cords. He's going to be ready to go in 20 minutes. Brian King and Jay Tust on the call on the Mountain West Network and KTVB Plus, so make sure you check that out tonight. KenPom number is 22 tonight, folks, 22. Boise State needs to win this one by 22 to improve all the KenPom numbers. You'd like to win by a little more than that if you can. 22 is the number, though, for the metrics and all that, for it to be a quote-unquote win for Boise State. You'd like to see them win this by 30, 40 plus and kind of game the system a little bit. We mentioned Signature Roofing and RJ Keene giving away 2 MacBook Pros to random students at Boise State. Let's take a look, courtesy of My Signature Roofing.
Keene, today we're going to be covering our community by giving away 2 brand new MacBooks. Come with me to surprise 2 random students during a stressful holidays, stressful finals week, and Merry Christmas. Today we're surprising people for the holidays. Can I surprise you?
Sure.
You say you need a new computer? Let's get her one.
This isn't a joke.
No, this is not a joke. I promise. We just want to surprise people and make their holidays a little extra special.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So sweet. I'm so confused.
What's your name?
Hudson.
Hudson, I heard you're in need of a new computer.
I suppose so.
What are you doing for the holidays?
I'm going home for the holidays and going to more than likely spend my time with my family.
Can Christmas come early for you? Here you go, brother. Brand new MacBook.
That's nice.
Here you go. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
just made two people's holidays, and I think it was an amazing job. We had one person crying, another girl that doesn't have a good computer at all. Today was a wonderful day. Merry Christmas.
Again, that's courtesy of Signature Roofing, just giving out random MacBook computers to students. Nice job, RJ Keene. And I think it's cool that he has now been rewarded with a spot in the starting lineup. And how about Mrs. Keene? Mama Keene watching on a flight with my daughter for an official will be cheering in the air. It's pretty cool that A, you have internet and you're watching, and B, that things are going so well with RJ. Hope you can keep it up. And folks are asking about the TV, all the situation there. This is on the Mountain West Network tonight. The Mountain West Network will be the spot tonight. The Mountain West Network, themw.com is the website. Ken Dick watching from Lebanon, Tennessee tonight. Appreciate you for checking out, Ken. Jeremy says, team has potential. Feel we are way deeper than in years past, but the top five probably aren't as good as previous years. That can be good and bad. Always a fan no matter what. Go Broncos. Joe Holiday going with a B- for non-conference play. Surf City Bill saying he would sell his soul to the devil for 3 wins. I assume he's talking football there, and a national championship national championship win, which would be pretty sweet as well. But again, hasn't exactly been the perfect non-conference season. The Boston College loss certainly stinks, but again, you find a way to win tonight against Texas Southern. And especially, to be honest, if you could win by 30 or 40 and improve those metrics a little bit, like this would be a really nice win, and you would finish the non-conference play at 8-3, and you would be in a good spot. 2 quad 1 wins, Clemson and St. Mary's, and an 8-3 non-con. Not terrible at all. We mentioned you should win your first 3, so you should be 11-3 going into a sellout crowd against San Diego State in a couple weeks. So a lot of reasons to be excited. A lot of positive momentum right now for the basketball team. And I mentioned the football team will be here tonight. Some of the players starting to make their way into the arena. If you're coming to the game tonight or if you're listening from the arena, go up to Section 12 and you can get your picture with the Fiesta Bowl trophy and the Mountain West Championship trophy and the Fiesta Bowl banner. So they've got the Fiesta Bowl banner and the Mountain West Championship trophy out in Section 12 for those that are interested. 92-60 is Todd's prediction, 92-60. That'd be a nice win for Boise State. I think they would certainly take that, 92-60. That would be a nice win for Boise State if they could win 92-60 tonight. Devo Bronx saying this one should be fun, not close. That's certainly what you'd like to see. You'd like to see a nice win and a not super close game. That would certainly be a nice one to see Boise State take care of business. Again, Texas Southern has played 2 Mountain West teams already, and they Johnny, you took my Texas Southern notes, I think. Texas Southern has played New Mexico, and they've played Nevada. New Mexico, they lost 99-68. Nevada, they lost 105-73. So this should be a game Boise State can get close to 100 points because Texas Southern not very good defensively. They're also not very big. They do have a 6'10 guy, but then there's 6'2", 5'10", 6'6", 6'7". So they're kind of balanced scoring. Kavion McLean, 14.3 a game is kind of their main scorer. But, again, this is a game Boise State should certainly take care of business. Says the St. Mary's fan, Bob Berry, all these Bronco Gonzaga fans talking about how good the St. Mary's win was. I know you like to hear that. And, yes, I agree. Like and subscribe if you can. Expensive trip to cover the Heisman Trophy ceremony as well as the Fiesta Bowl. So looking forward to get Johnny and Prater down to the Fiesta Bowl. They'll be doing Prater in the ball game, a couple special editions for the Fiesta Bowl down there. Looking forward to that. Going to be a lot of fun. We'll be there, as Johnny said, 2 weeks from right now. The game will be going on. Pretty crazy. We're already less than 2 weeks from this game kicking off, so cannot wait for that. But appreciate you guys for checking us out. The Lithia Ford Boise pregame show, again, Western Collective Studios. Pick up a Horseshoe Golden Ale or an Orange Chaos Seltzer here at ExtraMile Arena. And if you're not going to the Fiesta Bowl, make sure you go watch it from the brewery there in Garden City. The brewery in Garden City will have the Fiesta Bowl. They've got food specials, drink specials. I think they're even going to have a blue beer margarita, all kinds of great things. Our title sponsor, of course, is ropaint.com. Check them out as well, roepaint.com. RJ Keene will make his second straight start tonight. He'll start alongside Andrew Meadow, Tyson Degenhart, Omar Stanley, and Alvaro Cardenas. So Dylan Anderson and Javen Buchanan will come off the bench tonight. Texas Southern's going to start Kavion McLean, 14 points a game. Zaire Hayes, 7.6 points per game. Colby Granger at 7.9 points per game. Dwayne Posey, 6.4. And Kenny Hunter at 6.3. They're getting ready for the national anthem. We got to jump off here. Appreciate you guys for checking us out. Join us on the Jackson's postgame show. We'll be back about 30 minutes after the game with interviews, analysis. Abe Jackson will join me and more. Boise State, Texas Southern coming up in 11 minutes over on the Mountain West Network, and we'll be back with the Jackson's postgame show after the game. I'll have a full recap as well, interviews, a story, all that good stuff at BroncoNationNews.com. The referees tonight, DJ Carsonson from the Big 12, Deldry Carr, and Kelly Pfeiffer are your three officials for tonight's game. Enjoy the game, everybody. Hope you're enjoying it with a Horseshoe Golden Ale. And again, we'll be back on the postgame show right after the game. Join us on the postgame show. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. Thanks to Lithia Ford of Boise for sponsoring the pregame show. Again, the Jackson's postgame show coming up after Boise State and Texas Southern. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.